Constantino,
¿Qué huele?
pound for pound.
Little Giant Boxing.
Jim Lampley. Jim, what'd you think about Canelo's performance over Jermell Charlo?
Immaculate, great performance. I scored the fight, which I don't often do, and I managed to give Charlo a couple of rounds, but at the end of the day, tonight was not about Jermell Charlo. Tonight he did the best he could. Tonight was about the greatness of Canelo Alvarez, who once again demonstrated he's the greatest fighter of his generation and showed all the qualities that make him great. Great chin, great defense, good jab, progress toward power punches as the rounds went on, great left hooks, landed a right hand, which was one of the best right hands he's ever thrown to get a knockdown. All in all, just a consummate Canelo performance and further proof that he's the greatest fighter of his generation.
What impressed you the most about his performance?
What impresses me the most about Canelo is what he's done over the long course of his. This was his 60th win.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he has governed that career. He has planned from fight to fight to fight. He has managed to stay in shape. He has controlled his personal life. All the things that a fighter has to do to put together a record like that, he's done it. And he's done it quietly, competently, skillfully, with immaculate self-belief and confidence. He's an amazing fighter.
There's 2 more fights left on his PBC contract. Who would you like to see him tango against?
Well, I assume he's going to fight David Benavidez. That's a logical matchup that's out there. I don't think that's going to get anybody's juices really flowing. I don't think people are going to favor David Benavidez to beat Canelo Alvarez. And then the interesting question is, can we find a way to convince Alvarez to give Terence Crawford a shot? Can Crawford negotiate effectively enough to get him to come down a little bit, whether it's 7 pounds or whatever? I want to see, if it can happen, Terence Crawford in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. They're the 2 best fighters in the world.
What happens if those 2 mix it up?
What?
What happens if those 2 mix it up in the ring?
Well, if those 2 mix in the ring, you start with the fact that Canelo's bigger. So, regardless of at what weight they choose to make the fight, Canelo's still the bigger guy. He's got a bigger body and he's got more ballast. So, based on what I saw tonight, I wouldn't pick Crawford, although 2 weeks ago I would have told you that I liked Crawford's chances against him. Crawford is more electric, he's quicker, he has a real mean streak instead of that poker face that Canelo fights with, but at the end of the day, you'd have to favor Canelo. He's the bigger guy.
Any message to Canelo if he's watching? Any message to Canelo if he's watching?
Canelo, I think you stated your case tonight. And I know you don't want to openly acknowledge that your goal is to be seen as the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. You're too respectful of others in previous generations to say it out loud. So I'll say it. You're the greatest Mexican fighter of all time. And there's no more exalted distinction that anyone in the sport can look for than that. Congratulations.
Thank you. Last question. What do you make of Teddy Atlas saying that he's overrated? What do you
What?
make of Teddy Atlas saying that he's overrated?
Well, Teddy Atlas isn't right about everything all the time, I guess. I mean, he's not overrated. He went 24 hard rounds in the first 2 fights with Gennady Golovkin. His chin stood up to Golovkin's punches. He managed to find ways to score enough to win. And I don't know what else you can accomplish that would cause anybody to need something more to find out how great you are. He's not overrated.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it.